evening. Namaskar to one and all present here. It's a pleasure to have so many people here with us on this joyous occasion. I just want to tell all of you a story that brought this Sangam to life. The story about the 10th avatar of Mahavishnu, the Kalki of Kali Yuga Kalki. So sit back and keep your ears wide open and listen to this journey of the Atma Bodhodaya Sangam. This story takes place in the 19th century, an era of the dark social evils, as problems like racial, social, gender, and caste discriminations were taking place in India. Kerala was also prominently known for its participation in the prejudice of the social status. The pride of Kerala is its breathtaking hill stations, its beautiful sceneries, and its amazing land scenarios. The land of God is believed to be a gift of the Arabian Sea. Such a heavenly abode with such intolerable activities brought the name down of the state. This God's own country was described as a lunatic asylum during the visit of the famous Swami Vivekananda. Society was divided into lower caste and upper caste. While the upper caste worked for dignified positions, the lower caste were forced to depend on the feudal lords for their mere existence. They were slaved, treated as untouchables, and were not allowed to be seen in a meter's distance by the upper class. Let's take human A and human B. Human A breathes the same air as human B. Human A has the same organs as human B. And human A sees the world with the same eyes as human B. With so many similarities, why the need of differences? Why was human A not allowed to walk freely on the road without looking out for anybody from the upper class? Why was human A forced to work in dirty mud areas when human B could order his demands? Problems were at the highest peak of exploitation and abuse, and it was at this moment there was a miraculous birth. Ityadi, a simple and noble astrologer, was married to Kuchanili, a very humble and pious woman. The holy couple led a life of prayers, fasting, and penance. But even after 24 years of marriage, their lives lacked the presence of a child. Thus, they began continuous prayer by visiting holy temples, performing different worships and adorations. On the last day of her rigorous fasting, a priest had predicted that she would give birth to a worldly renowned child. So, on the auspicious day of Friday, 28th April 1882, she gave birth to a healthy child, Narayanan, on Puram Nakshatra. Narayanan was a very smart, handsome, and mischievous child. Despite being so naughty, his parents never punished him through any harsh words or through any actions. Since they belonged to a lower caste, those children did not share a privilege of getting education. So, Narayanan's father had given him primary literacy. His childhood was that of a very ordinary one until the divine transition at the age of 7. Since then, his life took a turn to a path he never imagined going to. It was a Friday evening on the 16th of November, 1888. Narayanan had gone to sleep as usual. In a state of half asleep, he witnessed a very deep beam of light enter his soul, like that of billions of sun's brightness together. It was 5 divine bright rays, a crescent moon, triple stars, a milky white conch, blue circle, and a morning sun, one after the other. These beams of light molded together as a fireball, Mahabindu, the fire of wisdom, Jnanagni. Thus, the Sarvajnana settled in his soul and took its place over there as the universal power and the Holy Spirit of God. This experience lasted for 3 days continuously. The parents were bewildered. They thought that the child was possessed by some evil spirit. They took the child to many scholars, astrologers, and many holy places. But little did they know that these divine bright rays were omnipotent, and its strength bespeaks of Kalki, the 10th avatar of Vishnu in Kali Yuga Khadgi. This was the time he opened his eyes to the path of self-realization. This was just the beginning. Soon after the holy darshan, the little boy craved for loneliness, to think about the 5 divine rays and the rays that emerged into his soul. During his childhood, he witnessed many scenes of brutality and slaughter by landlords. At a very small age, he started giving spiritual discourses and did several wonders. But in a much unexpected moment, his mother, whom he loved very dearly, passed away in 1894 when Narayanan was only 12 years old. Following her demise, he secluded himself from others in meditation. He was restless and he wanted answers. Thus, he decided to leave his hometown in order to visit many holy temples and meet up with different spiritual scholars. But this only resulted in him receiving unsatisfactory answers. At the age of 20, he fought against superstition and protested against the discriminations that occurred as a result of ignorance. In a quest of finding out more about the spiritual human life, he decided to go for meditation and penance. This was the period of the supreme evolution of the little lad Narayanan to Sree Subhananda Gurudev. Chintalar, a remote forest area near Idukki district. He was only 33 years old when he traversed towards Chintalar, towards the top of a mountain. He took the place under an Alexandrian laurel tree, and he sat there in deep penance for 2 years, 11 days, 11 months and 22 days. That place is referred to as Tapogiri now. It is actually a big miracle as to how Gurudevan even traversed such a path. The entire path was strewn with prickly thorns, venomous reptiles, and tormenting stones. The doubts, the consistency that was within him since the holy darshan were now solved and removed. He actually explains the entire experience in his own words. He says, during those days, his soul was filled with insight, foresight, prophecy, and voices from the heaven that was loud and clear. He had formed 6 aims behind the execution of the penance as to where is hell and heaven? What are its different paths? If you have knowledge about heaven, what are the ways to acquire it? Where was hell formed? What are the ways to destroy it? What are the laws to obtain the ultimate power? And how to provide the goodness of this life and the afterlife to the slaves? He continued his deep penance behind this motive only. But one day, his soul was struck by a deep force of lightning that emerged from the bottom of his heart and spread all over his body. Due to the sudden rise of life, spiritual power consciousness, and the overpowering strength which cannot be described, he was brimming with never-ending teardrops. He lay on the ground, no movements. He says the entire world felt like a ball of light. The illuminance increased, and he witnessed blue color in his body and attained a peaceful mind. Later, this bodily obtainment accumulated, and the voices from the heaven continued. What he heard first was that we ourselves are heaven and hell. It originates within ourselves. The entire universe is the transformation of our knowledge. Thus, we envision this world. Our knowledge embodies us, and then it becomes the other world, which is entitled as heaven. It was after this that he emerged as Sree Subhananda Gurudev and came out of his deep penance to continue his service to mankind. On the completion of his tapas, Sree Subhananda Gurudev reached Cherikol in 1918 and founded the Atma Bodhodaya Sangam, supporting the belief of one caste, one religion, and one God for the entire mankind. Atma Bodhodaya Sangam literally means organization to enlighten wisdom. This establishment represented the path of righteousness and a new social order where differences of all caste, creed, religion, and gender were abolished. He addressed spiritual gatherings and undertook a mission to free the untouchables from the sufferings due to evil practices. He instilled the concept in all that God has no distinction between all his creations and everyone is equal before him. We might think what an easy task, yeah? But it wasn't. Especially because Gurudevan was born into the lower caste and he, along with his disciples, were often ridiculed, threatened and opposed by people of the upper class. His Holiness fought superstitions and campaigned against casteism. He set up several Shubhananda ashrams that stand tall till today, that support the ideals that are acceptable to people of all walks of life. As the name implies, Atma Bodhodaya Sangam spreads the message of love and compassion and thus help people to see the way to self-realization and attainment of salvation. But apart from this, Shubhananda Gurudevan only didn't have the power of words. He also had the inborn traits to conduct unbelievable miracles. Few of his phenomenal actions conducted for the benefit of public are healing of diseases, giving rebirth to death, stopping of rains for a small period of time, eradication of evil spirits, and escapes from enemies. In the early days, Gurudev had run old age homes and also small-scale industrial centers. His devotees had set up over 30 ashrams and took up the initiative to provide innumerable social help to the underprivileged community. His historical meetings with Sri Narayana Guru, Mahatma Gandhi, Maharaja Sri Chitira Tirunal, Dr. Palpu, and many others are significantly etched in some of the most important events. Shubhananda Gurudevan was a born poet, and many hymns sung by him during the prayers were recorded and written by the devotees. They are well known for their philosophic content and for their melodic tunes. The life of Shubhananda Gurudev spanned a period of 69 fruitful years, after which he attained Mahasamadhi in 1950 in Trivandrum. He was a unique personality, a social reformer, an embodiment of truth, and undoubtedly the 10th avatar of Mahavishnu, the Kaliyug Kadki for all of his humanity. Now, normally, this is where a story should end. But that's the specialty of this story. It doesn't have an end. Sri Subhananda Gurudevan had prophesied that he shall appear on this earth age after age to destroy wickedness and to bring in righteousness. Subhananda Gurudev appears as the light of Atma Bodha through human bodies. He uses these bodies to connect with his devotees, convey the message of Atma Bodham, and also to provide comfort and safety to all. The soul of Gurudev was first passed to Brahmashri Anandiji Gurudevan, then to Brahmashri Guru Prasad Gurudevan, then to Brahmashri Sadananda Siddha Gurudevan, and today he resides powerfully in the body of Brahmashri Devananda Gurudevan. The devotee sees Sri Subhananda Gurudev in him. The light of Atma Bodha glows in him. To mark 100 years since the birth of this organization and since the divine tapas by Sri Subhananda Gurudev, it was announced by Brahmashri Devananda Gurudev that a period of 1 year is proposed to conduct the centenary celebrations of this occasion. All the devotees from every nook and corner of this world are celebrating this in great splendor. As a part of that, we, the devotees of Sree Subhananda Satsang, have decided to conduct it even in Dubai. We are filled with glee that we can convey this message of Atma Bodham even in this marvelous country across the Arabian Sea. Now, I would like to end my part for this evening on a short note by thanking you all once again for joining us with us on this special day. I hope that tonight you all will be able to go home with the knowledge of something new, something enlightening. The soul of Guru is the eternal bliss. He is the incarnation of Kalki. We choose the Guru who can eliminate wickedness and induce virtue in us to make us wise people. Guru can redeem us from the whirlpool of worldly life. He comes in every age. He lives for the upliftment of the downtrodden. He protects his worshippers. The Khadgi of Kali Yuga is the eternal Guru. Thank you all once again and hope you enjoy the rest of the evening.
We welcome